My grandfather used to earn 50 bucks. He had seven kids, but he was a middle class. My father was earning 500 bucks and he had four kids. He was a middle class. Then I asked myself, how do I earn? How much I earn? I used to earn 50,000 bucks and my wife used to earn two, and we had only one kid and we were still a middle class. Let me start from here.
All right. So, Sunil, tell me, before you got into blockchain, it's only a 10-year-old technology. What did you do? I mean, were you a tech guy?
No, I was never a tech guy, though I was always interested in tech. I used to teach political science and international relations, and I was doing that since 1999.
Oh, where were you teaching?
First, I taught in Chandigarh, then I used to teach in Ludhiana. But the question of money, particularly politics of money, was always my favorite area. And I did fair amount of research, particularly from the international relations theory perspective. And then I realized that currently in this world, question of money cannot be solved because the entire definition of money is controlled by national actors. They decide to change the money, only then money changes.
Right.
So which means if there is a counter actor or there is a parallel actor, only then a new definition of money would be created. But there was no parallel actor. And when I saw Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system, I could see a serious fault line. And from 2012 onwards, that fault line has only widened.
So, yeah, it's on you now.
I think
we're going to be in real trouble if we keep doing these middle ones.
Let's see who's the lucky one.
Let me know what we were talking about earlier before we got on camera was, you tell me how blockchain, not Bitcoin, let's move back, let's go to the technology, how blockchain can change India and at the lowest level.
Technically, blockchain is just an infrastructure. It's a ledger technology.
Right.
Which means if I make a transfer to you, this transfer will be recorded on a ledger. Which means that ledger is not controlled by any centralized party.
Right.
Which means if me and you are ready to design a negotiation, ready to design a contract, then I think we can design a new order. A new order means a new world.
But this sounds very high level, right? It sounds like when you talk about contracts, negotiations, it sounds a lot like you're talking about, D streets, banks, investors. These are the guys who deal in contracts and negotiate. What does that mean to a farmer in rural MP? How does that change his life?
Okay, let me give you a very simple example. Imagine something like Facebook getting reinvented in a world of blockchain. At present, Facebook is it's going to be difficult. At present, Facebook is controlled by a single corporation because the entire structure is a client-server architecture.
Correct.
But a blockchain gives you freedom to design a distributed and decentralized architecture where every like, every comment, every share can get you reward in terms of cryptocurrency. There are at present half a dozen quality projects that are doing that. And once they get mature, we are going to reach a situation where a small girl, a young girl from a small city like Muzaffarnagar can start earning in micro amounts.
So you're saying if someone from Muzaffarnagar, they do, let's say the Kiki challenge, that's a big thing right now.
Yeah.
If they get enough likes, enough shares, enough comments, they can make money off that post?
Exactly. Okay. Exactly.
But doesn't that take us to, that sounds, if we can get that done, it's revolutionary. But doesn't that take us back to the same problem of if you give people money, they might squander it? How do you solve that?
See, The first important question is that your talent should be directly proportional to your earning. And
Okay.
blockchain gives you a decentralized world where you can design a rewarding mechanism that suits your talent. Which means if you're a good actor, if you're a good singer, if you're a good lyricist, then all these talents can be multiplied by building your history of record, history of provenance on blockchain and connecting that source with further revenues.
Okay, so it's you're taking apart the gatekeepers, so to speak.
Exactly.
So the producers, the agents of the world, the guys who make money as middlemen, you're taking those guys off. Let's talk about singing, acting, Bollywood.
Exactly, because at present the biggest chunk of earnings is captured by these mediators. So blockchain is all about removing the intermediaries. If from a singer, song can directly reach a listener, then that would be an excellent world.
So so that kind of gets rid of players like Spotify and iTunes, doesn't it? If that comes across.
The target is not to get rid of. The target is to bring fairness into the system. Ultimately, humanity is built on trust, and there are only two ways of building that trust. One is centralized, and other one is decentralized.
Right.
If centralized trust makers don't work as they are expected to,
If you can't trust the people you're supposed to trust.
Yes.
Right?
so ultimately the factor is trust. And decentralization, blockchain technology is only going to develop a fairer mechanism where trust is intact.
So anyway, let's take us back all the way to the point you made initially. The girl in Muzaffarnagar.
Yeah.
She gets a hit video and I'm so scared for you. Anyway, she gets a hit video and she makes, let's say 1,000 rupees, 2,000 rupees off this video from shares and likes and comments.
Yeah.
She goes viral. Someone from Bollywood says, "Oh, that's great acting. Why don't we get you on board to try something out?" And her career builds. But does that not go to mob mentality, where if you like this one person, if that one person has a lot of friends, their revenue goes up? That doesn't seem fair.
See, no. That doesn't work like that.
I mean, think about it.
See, just a minute. See, when we talk of social media, every act of everybody doesn't get rewarded like a viral event every day.
Right.
So what I'm trying to say is that if there is a songwriter, if he or she happens to write 100 songs in 10 years, out of those 100 songs, if 5 or 6 songs are get rewarded like that, then the act of writing 100 songs over a period of 10 years becomes a worthwhile effort. Ultimately, we are building quality products out of talent supply chains.
So it's more that if you have the talent, if you're willing to work hard, there's now at least a method that you can follow. So today, if you're an artist, a musician, an actor, a journalist, it's hard to make any money on your own.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to something else that we discussed before. Education in India, universities in India. You were a university professor.
Difficult. Yeah.
Tell me, does blockchain have a role to play there?
Anywhere. Any human activity where more than 2 people are interacting.
So, give me a specific example. You were a professor, right?
Okay. See, at present, what is the education model? That you have to get enrolled into a 3 or 4 year degree program.
Right.
You have to sign up for 40 papers and complete all those things in proper credits and all this.
Right.
But the point is, fundamentally, this is an industrial model.
Right.
What you need is learning, and learning from the best of the world.
Right.
If the best of world can reach up to you without any mediator like a college or a university, then you can actually learn at a much faster pace and a much affordable price.
But don't we already have that with places like Coursera, Udemy?
See, try to understand. Coursera and Udemy are actually educational equivalents of Facebook.
Okay.
they are again centralized players.
Right.
So the revenue goes to these players. What I'm trying to say is that why can't we build a Coursera of blockchain world where somebody sitting in Pakistan can teach somebody in Tamil Nadu?
But doesn't that just equate to online tutoring?
See, teaching is an activity which is as old as humanity.
Okay.
But a teacher needs to get rewarded. Ultimately, you don't want to build a Dronacharya which will only teach Kauravas and Pandavas and not teach Eklavyas.
Right. So, but okay, then answer me this. Education. Let's stick to education because that's your field of expertise. Isn't one of the benefits of having these high funda colleges in IIT, Harvard, and Oxford is that you know that these guys will give you a good education, or at least the marketplace thinks that this is a good education.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a guy in Pakistan teaching a guy in Hyderabad, how is there any proof that the guy in Pakistan knows what he's saying, knows what he's talking about?
See, Coursera did an experiment recently.
Hmm.
They enrolled roughly 60,000 students, and out of those 60,000 students, the students who passed out, you'll be surprised to know that 432 toppers did not belong to an offline class model. They belong to people from multiple corners of the world.
Okay.
Which means talent and merit is so distributed that we need to we need to develop a system which can work according to that.
So I understand what you're saying. I understand. You cut out the middleman, you cut out Coursera, you cut out Udemy, you cut out edX. But the same problem persists, right? How do you know who to go to? That's what the service Coursera does for you. It tells you who the good university is, who the good course is.
So your question is how to build the reputation. Okay.
If it's completely...
See, again, so there are token curated ranking systems.
Okay.
There is a prediction market. There is a crowd sourcing of wisdom. There are multiple things. So blockchain is at present such a vast universe that you can actually count over 10,000 blockchain projects connecting multiple sectors in a multiple way. The problem is that this universe is so big that a small interview cannot actually capture that vastness.
Fair enough. Okay.
So if you can recommend me, for example, if you share a particular article or a particular song via Facebook to me, similarly I can do similar things through blockchain based world.
Okay,
People
so
can
blockchain-based social
people
media.
can recommend, and you can earn out of quality recommendations.
So what you're saying is start small, the stuff that we're already doing that
Exactly.
can be done blockchain.
Exactly.
All right.
So it's
I
going
feel
to
we're
be
reaching the end of this interview as there's nothing left to pull out.
Yeah, it seems so.
You gotta take a risk. That's the only way out here.
There is only one.
Oh, it's getting real close. I can't take anything higher than that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, no, you gotta put it in the middle. You make it three.
Sorry. Yeah.
All right. You put me on the spot. I need a block and a question. So, tell me, how do you see this working in India? Have you seen a lot of progress? Have you seen people interested in building blockchain, or is it just the 5 entrepreneurs spread out across the country doing their own things and hoping people pick up?
See, as compared to rest of the world, I do accept that Indian blockchain ecosystem is not that fairly developed, and there are multiple reasons for that. But I'm quite hopeful. I can see at least a dozen odd good projects coming from India, and within a year or so, they would be actually showing a lot of success. So we just need to wait for some more time as far as Indian success stories in blockchain universe are concerned.
So answer me this. Most of the Indian guys in blockchain and tech in general seem to focus on fintech. A lot of blockchain guys focus on fintech. Maybe that's because of our restrictive laws, maybe that's because we don't have enough of an ecosystem for adventurous projects, I don't know. But do you not see that as a problem?
See, as far as permission blockchain projects are concerned, I can accept your argument, but as far as permissionless blockchains are concerned, I think fintech is not dominating. For example, I am connected with at least half a dozen blockchain projects, and none of them is a fintech project.
So can you give us any companies you've heard of or worked with that are doing some interesting work?
For example,
that could potentially touch everyone.
Yeah. For example, I am connected with a project known as Project Kivo. It is launching a decentralized Instagram.
Okay, so put your pictures, you get likes, you get money. Okay.
Then there is a project called Z-Tips. It is actually launching a decentralized anonymous tip reporting system.
Where to the cops or something?
Yeah, where first major application area is anonymous crime reporting system. So
and you get paid for
exactly.
But doesn't that open itself up to abuse, where people just report anything and everything to get money?
No. See, when you introduce an idea, that idea needs to be sanitized in order to make a quality blockchain product which can be scalable, which can actually suit the needs of a particular sector like crime reporting and police and multiple other organizations. So introducing an idea at certain level and improving that idea through quality mechanisms to a finished product is a long journey.
Right, okay.
So things are being taken care of at this level.
Okay, so everything's starting at ground zero at the moment.
Yeah.
Speaking of, we're getting pretty close to ground zero ourselves.
This is the only option.
You can't touch the top 3?
Yeah. This is not top 3.
Alright. Oh my god.
But this is going to be...
I don't see any way of me making it out of this right now. I only hope is you drop it right now. Come on, Sunil, do me a solid. Alright, you're still in this.
So, I'm playing it for the first time, but...
And I think you may just win. Why did I? This is my show.
Okay.
Oh wait, there's one. Oh god, this is gonna be hard. Come on.
Oh wow.
Oh, this is all you.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Oh, I'm playing with a master.
You have to just go for one of the weird ones and hope it stays up.
So, 1, 2, 3. So this is the 4th one.
I mean, what am I supposed to do here? You got me. So, Sunil, you got me on the ropes. Alright, one last question before this tower comes down.
Okay.
Blockchain. We've heard a lot of predictions in the market, people in the news coming out and saying it's the future, and other people in the news coming out saying it's just another technology that we don't need to worry about. Do we need to worry about it going all the way that big, or not worry? Do we need to expect it to go that big, where it's like the internet, where it takes over the world and changes everything?
See, there is a law by a Stanford researcher named as Roy Amara.
Okay.
He says that we always end up overestimating impact of technology in short time, but underestimating its impact in longer time.
Right.
So, same applies on blockchain technology.
Okay.
So what I'm trying to say is that if you expect results in 1 or 2 years, then you might be on wrong foot. But in another 5, 10, 20 years, you will be finding blockchain as a fundamental game changer. And remember, there have been only 3 ledger technologies in the history of mankind: single entry bookkeeping, double entry bookkeeping, and now triple entry bookkeeping, which is actually blockchain.
It's just the idea
so when ledger technology changes, world changes. So don't forget that. So in another 10 to 20 years, you will remember my words that this is no more the world we used to live 20 years back.
Yeah. So I think this is it. Do you want to do the honors and bring the tower down? Are you going to watch me do this in agony? Okay, I'm just going to go for the magician's trick and hope for the best.
Okay.